We're here at the California State Capitol in Sacramento reporting on the East Bay Coalition for Public Education rally. Teachers, administrators, students, and more from East Bay school districts are advocating for increased funding for public schools in California.
Up in the morning after school, you're trying to teach them the golden rule. American history, AP, math. They study hard, they don't care if they pass now. Working our fingers right down the bone. And that rude kid won't leave you alone.
And I also want to say to you, everyone here, that you're at a real point of history because this conversation that you're part of today is changing up the whole face of education. All the signs you see there, who deserves more?
Teacher.
Who deserves more?
Teacher.
Who deserves more?
Students.
That's right, and this is what today's about, and the reason why I say it's historic, because many years we've known education should be first. There's no doubt in anyone's mind that you went through a teacher to get where you are today.
Thanks for coming together. Thanks for coming together to have a unified voice in support of something we know we have to do. Something that has lingered too long and deserves our attention now. And we need to seize this moment to make the change, to provide appropriate, adequate, fair school funding. We know we need to do that. And I want to thank you all for uplifting that issue, raising it, not letting us turn away, making sure we're focused on it until we reach a solution. And I want to thank our teachers and allies from up and down the state, in LA, in Oakland, for all that you've done to raise up the issue of adequate support for our teachers, adequate school funding, small class sizes, appropriate ratios for nurses and for our counselors and other support services. That is critical, and that's the conversation that we need to have. What was the stat? I've heard 47th, 46th, 41st. They're all bad. They're all unacceptable in terms of per pupil school funding where we are in California. We like to lead in California, and right now we're not. We're on the bottom, and we deserve to be what this sign says. Make California top 10 in per pupil school funding.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Michaela Klein-Weinstein, and I'm from the Albany Unified School District. I'd like to paint a picture for all of us today. I'd like to paint a picture where teachers are able to live in the districts that they educate students in. I'd like to paint a district where kindergartners are able to receive individualized attention from their teachers. I'd like to paint a picture where peers in their high school classrooms feel safe and supported with an adequate mental health department. Unfortunately, this is not the reality that we have today. The reality is that teachers are not able to live in the school districts that they educate in. The reality we all know today is that class sizes are so large that elementary schoolers, middle schoolers, high schoolers are unable to excel in their classrooms because they cannot get that individualized attention. The reality today is that our facilities are overcrowded, leading to anxiety for students across the ages in our school districts. We are the future of California, and we deserve more as that future. And that is why we're all here today. Thank you.
Yeah, get it for Michaela. All right, hello. Again, I'm Alex Kwan. I'm a senior at Castro Valley High School. Yeah. And I'm also the Castro Valley Student Board member. And I just want to start this off by saying we shouldn't have to be gathered here today. We shouldn't all have to come here and advocate for something that should be an expectation, something that should be given. Now, full and fair funding of education is not only in the best interest of the people, but in the best interest of the government as well. Education is foundational to our society. And by properly funding education, we're investing in our future. Yet, our state falls so short of this. Out of all 50 states, California is ranked 41st in pure pupil funding. This is ridiculous. The state continues to burden our school districts with financial responsibilities without providing proper funding. And this ultimately falls on to the students. Like, for instance, how can you expect teachers to come and provide adequate education to their students when they can't even afford to live in their own school district. That's unacceptable. California is the 5th largest economy in the world, yet it won't even spend money to take care of its own children. Full and fair funding of education is a complete necessity, and it needs to be addressed right now. Thank you.
Why are all these people who are sometimes on separate sides of an issue coming together about this one? Because there is no time like the present. For the students who are here, this is your only high school experience. You're not going to do this again. This is your only 11th grade year, your only 10th grade year, and your teachers and administrators understand how important that is for you. And we want to be able to give you the very best while you are in our care. So we're here and we'll be wherever we're needed, and we'll make sure our voices are strong and consistent and proud. Thank you so much for being here today.
So why did you decide to come out here today?
This is important. We all want the best for our students. We need to fully fund education, and it's also very exciting because all of us are here. You know, most often what you find is different groups talking about the same thing, but kind of within their own organizations. This is really important to us because today you have teachers, classified, superintendents, board members, and parents all together saying the same thing, sharing the same message.
Is there anything that you would like the state to do, particularly with the spending for public schools?
Yeah. I want them to increase funding for public schools, and oftentimes what I hear is if you want us to fund public education fully, then we would have to cut all of these other things, and I feel like that's the wrong mentality, to steal from Peter to pay Paul. Yes, what I would like them to spend more money on is public education versus prisons. That I understand. When we spend about $10,000 per student for public education and spend over $100,000 to imprison a young person, doesn't make sense to me. That's what needs to change. We need to shift our priorities and fund public education. And there are many ways to do that. We have the 5th largest economy in the nation. We should not be 41st in the nation for per pupil spending.
And why are you here today?
I feel like the educational system needs to improve by any means necessary. We all have to go through school. If it's publicly, home, or whatever, I feel like we all have to go through it, and it should be at its best ability.
And what do you hope the state to do with the public school funding?
Increase the quality of any schools they can, really. Help teachers more. Anything they can do, it will help. So, appreciate anything.
Why are you here today?
I'm supporting teachers and getting more funding for education.
And what do you think the state should do with their school funding?
We need to give it back to the schools. We need to support clubs, sports, academics. We need to do better.
Why are you out here today?
I'm here to do my best to join with everybody in the state, if necessary, to get the funding that our students deserve.
And what do you hope that the state will do in order to improve education?
There's a few bills that are on the floor now, or at least in committee now, that will hopefully help local districts as well as the state give more money to students.
So Alex, why are you here today?
I got to speak at this rally for full and fair funding. I'm the Cache Valley student board member.
How was your experience speaking?
It was great. It was actually really cool. It was really cool to see everyone coming out from all over the county to come and just support this Prop AB 39.
What change do you hope to see?
Okay, so what the prop is it's by 2020 we want to have funding, because right now our funding for California is in the bottom 10 states, and we want to have by 2020 the funding to be in the average, and by 2025 to be in the top 10 states. So that's a change I want to see. I want to see by 2025 California will be one of the top 10 funded states.
If you think it's easy doing one-night stands, try playing in an angry teacher bet, 'cause it's a long way to the top if you want to cheat school.
Jamestown Cheers, thank you everyone for coming out today. Have safe travel.
In the near future, East Bay Coalition for Public Education activists hope to see an increase in funding for public education so that our schools can get additional resources. This has been a special Olympian report from the state capitol in Sacramento.